Hello and welcome back, live and on the air. Our sponsor tonight is John Jones. John Jones Real Estate. Nobody sells homes like John. We're going to roll over to Memphis. Going to talk to the head coach of the Christian Brothers Purple Wave, head coach Thomas McDaniel. How you doing tonight, Coach?
Doing good. Tired. Ready for Halloween. Got to go home, carve a pumpkin.
Got to go home and carve a pumpkin. Now, when you carve a pumpkin, do you have special utensils that you carve it with, or special knives?
Hell no.
Okay, all right.
No. You just get an old sturdy, big old knife from the kitchen drawer. Just old school, man.
Okay, and are you pretty good with this? You being a
yeah,
okay,
yeah. We've been doing this a long time, Stork, and we've tried the little carving sets. They're terrible.
Oh, are they?
They break, and you just need your big old knife and just get after it. Maybe a big spoon to get out some of them seeds.
Okay.
And yep. I mean, the girls are wearing me out. They don't want to do anything except watch me do the work, but whatever.
Well, and I mean, you've done this for years. Halloween is a big thing. Do you have a cornucopia in your front yard or anything like corn stalks or anything like that?
No. They ain't no corn stalks. There's a legitimate cemetery in our front yard. We got a casket, a mummy, a couple hanging mummies. One of them's a body bag, actually.
Wow.
We've got probably about, 12, 15 headstones, a couple skeletons laying out there. We go all out.
Oh, you've been doing this for years. Where do you, just curious, Judy always wants to know, where do you store your Halloween gear? When do you have to have a big place to store all this gear?
Yeah, I mean, we've got all of our Halloween stuff. Obviously, all the Halloween stuff goes in black and orange Rubbermaid bins.
Okay.
And then your Christmas goes in red or green Rubbermaid bins.
Okay.
And so I think we have 4 or 5 Christmas trees. There's no expense spared. We've got orange and purple lights out front right now as well. Cobwebs on all the windows. I sometimes wonder why my retirement isn't better than it is, but it's because of stuff like this.
What do you think, you might want to own a Halloween store or something like that after you retire and coaching?
No, I'll tell you, it's kind of fitting. My dad, when I was a kid, we had a carport. You don't see those anymore. But
I had one growing up. My dad made it into a family room. He enclosed it. That's what he did. He enclosed the carport. But go ahead.
Yep. But we had a carport, and he would wrap it in black plastic and turn it into like a 3-hallway maze. Yeah. And we would have a haunted house in our house on Halloween.
Oh,
so even as a kid, my best memories were my dad, my grandfather, and then we would play roles with the chainsaw or the casket, open it up, or we had a skeleton that we called Mr. Bones that he rigged up to use wire and stuff string to make it lift up on its own. So anyways, we did all that when I was a kid, and then he always again Clark Griswold I do all of it on Halloween. On Christmas as well with the exterior illumination, but that's all because that's what my dad did. So we got a full blown cemetery in our front yard.
Oh, that's great. And Coach, you doing all that. I bet you've done it a long time. So I got to ask, are you going out tomorrow? Are you all playing tomorrow night? Or y'all playing? Are y'all playing?
Heck no.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I've already told the kids we got to get to practice early, and at 5, we got an hour and a half tomorrow. At 5, I don't care where we're at. I'm calling it because at 5:30 I'm going to be home with my girls, getting ready for. This is a big deal. This is. I don't know if it's the big one. I don't know if it's bigger than Christmas, but it's a big deal at the McDaniel house. So we've always dressed up together. As they've gotten older, that's kind of become a little bit more. It's few and far between. So when they kick us to the curb, Jessica and I will dress up together. But this year, my oldest, who's about to be 13, fancies herself. It's got nothing to do with football. I don't even know why I keep talking about this, but I'm a big. Anybody knows me knows I'm a horror buff. I love horror movies, and my daughter has tried to fancy herself to be a fan of scary movies. So that's something we've started connecting with. Obviously, we're keeping it pretty simple with her,
right?
But so she's going as Pennywise. Because we watched it together, like the original TV movie It, the one that you and I grew up watching.
Right.
And I'm going as Georgie. I got the SS Georgie and the balloon and the raincoat and all that stuff. So anyway, yeah, man.
Well, and there's those old corny movies like I can always remember When a Stranger Calls, and there'd be people that
I loved it,
and there would be people and they'd be like, "I'm going in to take a shower right now." By myself, it was.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so poor acting, but it was.
Oh man.
I mean.
Yeah, she gets frustrated with me, or sometimes she gets frustrated when I try to show her some of the classics, and she doesn't like the effects.
Oh yeah.
She got to watch the original Halloween, like the first one.
Yes.
And it's just not as. It's not obviously it's not super gory, but the scenes that are kind of brutal, they're not nearly as realistic as nowadays. But anyway, I think probably 7, 8, 10 years from now, when she's a little bit older, maybe that'll be our thing together. But I'm a big horror fan. My inner circle of friends and family that know me know that it's not beneath me to go to a theater and watch a horror movie by myself because my wife doesn't care for it. But I don't know, one of those sick and sadistic things that I enjoy.
Well, Christian Brothers Purple Wave, you're at 5-3. You beat MUS, and then you lost to Father Ryan, and now you catch a real hot Innsworth at home at 9-0. Talk a little bit about the. I know the MUS game is huge for you, and that win. But talk a little bit about the Father Ryan game, if you will, Coach.
Too many explosives. Gave up some big plays early. It was 28-14 at half. We had a chance to get the ball back in the second half and put a drive together. So early in the game, it was too many explosive plays defensively. We just didn't play well. Can't put my finger on it. I have my opinions of why I think we didn't play well, but it's a tell as old as time. We lost our quarterback. We beat Briarcrest. We beat MUS. Which I think everybody thought after we lost our quarterback, we were probably in deep trouble.
Right.
We won both those games, and I think sometimes maybe people think, all right, good's good enough. And we just, at the end of the day, I thought I thought we were prepared. We weren't. It was my fault. We didn't play very well. We gave up too many plays defensively early, and then we didn't play smart football offensively. We had too many penalties on first down. It's like, again, I've said this before, but like when you have when you got a penalty on first down and you got 2nd and 15 or 1st and 15 or 2nd and 15 or even a 2nd and 20, I ain't got no good calls for that. If you got one, let me know. So I mean, it just kind of snowballed on us. Not to make excuses. At the end of the day, Brian had his kids ready to play, and they played well, but. Yeah, I just can't put a finger on it. Whatever it is, you can call it. It's an excuse. So we got to figure out a way to get back on the horse and hopefully try to again, like I've told you before, our goal, my goal, whatever, at the end of the year is I want us to be playing the best football we can. I thought we were going into the Father Ryan game. We laid an egg. Can we, pick our self up off the ground? Not pout about it. I just want to play well at whatever that looks like and fight. I want it to be a deal where defensively you got to go the long hard way, and offensively, we want to be able to put drives together, sustain, possession of the football and eat the clock. So, we got a challenge ahead of us in Innsworth. They're a good football team. They got a lot of really good players. They're 9-0 for a reason, but I want us to go fight for 48 minutes and give them a test.
Where will this put you for the playoffs, Coach? I mean, if you
we already know.
Okay.
Barring something crazy, for us, we're going to finish third and get a bye, and it looks like more than likely we're going to McCallie in the quarterfinals.
Ooh. Well, but you still got a lot of time for your quarterback. Like you said, he's got 48 minutes here to grow up, a little bit more Friday night as you throw him in against, like I said, they're 9-0, and it'll be a good test for him because you're going to get him back next year, aren't you?
Yeah, but I mean, it's just at this time of the year, it is what it is. Like we've got, We've had a slew of injuries. We got our center back who didn't get to play against Father Ryan. Started 3 sophomore offensive linemen against Father Ryan.
Oh, gosh.
And we're young already as it is because we had a offensive tackle that got hurt in the preseason, and then we had a starting guard that broke his wrist against Baylor. Then we lost our center on basically the last play against MUS. So we had 3 sophomores, and we've had a lot of injuries up front on offense, especially. So I've been really proud of the way we've been able to overcome some of that stuff. I don't make an excuse for that. At the end of the day, I thought we were ready to go, and we weren't. But again, I just want us to be the best version of us. If our best isn't good enough, I'll go home and sleep and get to see my family for the first time in a while. But I just want us to play our best football when it matters, and right now is when it matters. So hopefully we play well Friday. We know regardless, more than likely, we're going to McCallie. And, stranger things have happened. So it's something we got 2 weeks to prepare, get healed up, and let's take another trip to Chattanooga.
Well, Coach, I can't thank you enough. As always, I love having you on the show. We've been friends for a long time, and since I broke away from just doing one school, and you helped start that right here in Murfreesboro. That was in the 2012 season, and used to come over to Oakland and sit with you, and we would have our interview and our time, and it's still special, even though we're not person to person. I still can't thank you enough, Coach. I learned so much about the game of football and life, and you do a real good job with the kids, and we just can't thank you enough for being on the show.
Well, thank you for all you do. It's always fun to sit and talk with you. I know that I ramble a lot, talk about stuff that doesn't matter, but it's good to catch up. And again, you're a great ambassador for our sport. And I will say this: it's our senior night Friday, and I had our senior dads come to practice the week of senior night. They come to a practice and come on the field, and we have dinner after practice, and that was tonight for us because tomorrow night's Halloween, obviously. So we did it tonight instead of Thursday, and then they get to the brothers walk with their son on game day. Our pregame thing's pretty cool. We have the band and kind of all the kids come out there, whatever. Anyway, I was telling the dads, when I say this because of your being such a great ambassador for our sport, it's the greatest sport on earth. I like all sports. I like lots of athletes, but there's nothing like football. In a world where everything is soft serve and everybody's so fragile, we need it now more than ever. It's dangerous. It's not easy, but it teaches so many great lessons. And I think, the old, I guess it was kind of poetic, but the huddle, years ago, who was it that said that? Was it, who wrote the thing about the huddle? Anyway, just so many different walks of life coming together and playing such a tough game and having to work for one another, and 11 people being in unison is just an awesome thing. And we don't have enough ambassadors for football, so I definitely appreciate all you do for high school football.
Before we close, I do want you to say, because you did coach with him, you are the only coach that I interviewed that did coach with him. As Coach Rankin, approaches, he's got 496 wins. He's going to play Grace on Friday night. He's got a good shot at getting to 500. But as he grows closer to that number, could possibly do it this season. Could you talk just a little bit about coaching with him and just being around him and just whatever you want to share right now before we jump off there. Jump off on the.
Yeah. So yeah. So oh man, I could go on and on. I texted him a couple weeks ago. I don't even know if we talked about this. We played Briarcrest with our backup quarterback, and without there being enough pressure on that, somebody had reached out to me that Friday and said, "Hey, just FYI, if y'all win tonight, this will be 150 wins for you." And obviously, 150 wins don't sound like much comparative to Gary Rankin, but as soon as we got finished, he was the first person I texted, and I've just been so lucky. I mean, it's hard to win. It's hard to win consistently, and I've never had to go through a season where it's just really, really, really brutal, like a 2-8 season or something like that.
Right.
And that can really wear a person down. I've not had to do it, but I did it as an assistant at BGA. Anyway, all that to be said, I've been so lucky, and my luck really started with him because he didn't have to hire me. He really didn't want to hire me. He did after some convincing, and he just took me under his wing at a very early spot. I don't know what it was he saw in me. I know that if I wouldn't have been with Gary Rankin, I wouldn't be where I am today. Now, obviously, I've had some loyal assistants, and I've had a lot of luck, a lot of timing. But I know I wouldn't be the coach I am today without Gary Rankin. And so he poured into me. And I think the biggest thing that I would say to anybody that would listen, you get in this business and everything is about ego. And don't get me wrong now, Gary's got some ego too. All right. I'm not saying he doesn't. He likes to win. And I get all that. But the thing that I really have always appreciated about him is he never stops learning. And so even as a young coach, even to this day, he will call and ask me questions about football. And I'm thinking, why the hell are you asking me? You've forgotten more football than I know. But that's how he is. And he likes to study it. He doesn't act like he has all the answers. And so that's been one of the biggest things that I've been able to take away from him and Crawford. Obviously Crawford works for me now, but being able to be around both those guys early on and see the fact that they were both learners and they continued to grow and change and evolve and study, that was huge for me. Because a lot of people in education and coaching, they do something for 30 years. They do the same thing 30 times, like for 30 years. You are what you are. And that's not the way this business is in education or football. You got to evolve. And so having both those guys be able to show me that is huge. Being the dad and husband that he was. He's got a big heart. He doesn't like people knowing it, but he's got a huge heart. And, he's got a pretty tight circle. He doesn't have a lot of friends. I'm lucky to be one of them. And, I've just been extremely blessed to have. He also told me, and then I'll shut up.
No, go on. You're fine.
We went to Father Ryan. I haven't got hired technically yet at Riverdale, and we were at McDonald's after Father Ryan scrimmage. First time my dad ever met Rankin, and he walked up to my dad and said, because we didn't play very well in the secondary, and he asked my dad if he could fire me before I'd ever been hired, because I was going to go work for Tom Nolan, and Hewlett Watson was the superintendent, but I hadn't signed my contract yet. So Gary's joking with my dad, saying something about, I'm going to have to fire him before he ever gets hired. And, I took it serious. I didn't know any better. So, he took to me, and I'm so thankful for all he's done for me and my family. And, there ain't but one Gary Rankin, and he's obviously one of the best to ever do it, and he deserves all the credit he gets. But I have tried to tell him, he won't listen to me, but, he's run out of fingers and toes for the rings, and he's not going to be able to take them with him. And so it's like, there is a great big world out there. You could retire and just go enjoy life, but he just he loves it.
Oh, yeah. And, you were with him when he won a couple of state championships at Riverdale.
Yeah. I was also with him. When I mean, this is the God's honest truth. I was with him when we lost the last game at Riverdale he coached in, and I knew in my heart of hearts that was the last time he was going to coach at Riverdale, and that was 2 or 3 months before he ever left Riverdale. I knew that he was ready for something different, and it kind of felt like, it got to the point at Riverdale back in the mid 2000s, like if you didn't go win it all, then it was a down year. It was like a defeat.
Yeah.
And so we went to Oak Ridge in 2005 and got beat in the semifinals. And I knew
Stanton Stevens was the coach.
Yep. And
it was snowing.
I knew that
it was snowing.
Do what?
It was snowing.
Yeah, and I think I knew then that he was probably not going back to Riverdale. And again, everything's timing, man. If it had been 2 or 3 or 4 weeks later, I wouldn't have gone to BGA. I'd have been at Alcoa. But I decided to go to BGA right before he decided to leave Riverdale, and I ended up going off on my own. And had that not happened, I'd be an assistant coach for Brian Nix now, right? Probably. So whatever. It's all timing. I've just been very, very fortunate, and I was fortunate to have somebody, especially when you're young, man. If you don't get around the right people, it's easy to be a bad coach. Yell and just place blame. I mean, he held coaches accountable. He was organized. He was structured. I mean, it was everything you would need as a young guy. And so, yeah, they don't make them like him anymore, man.
Coach, I can't thank you enough for sharing that with us. And good luck Friday night. And I hope to talk and visit with you soon and pour a draught.
All right, brother. I appreciate you.
All right. See you. Bye.